Hello, YouTube land, and welcome to the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast, episode 48. Woo! Right here at the Force In Unison gaming channel, and of course, joining me like always, Caleones. How you doing, Caleones, in this beautiful night?
Hey, how you doing, Dantes? How you doing, everybody? And well, it's the exciting time of the year. We're finally a little over a week away from E3, and now we're starting to receive mass leaks, mass information, reveals, trailers, and everything that you have been waiting for the entire year. So it is, very exciting times. There's a couple of news that we have here from what has already been announced, some of them of what has leaked, and others of what they're implying or talking about what may be coming out. But Dantes, go ahead and take it away.
My pleasure, Caleones. So I want to welcome everybody to the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast, episode 48, right here at the Force In Unison gaming channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, and comment so you can make these two crazy MFs happy. Also, remember, you can get this podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes for free. Rate us over there so you can show up some love. And it's going to be even better now that I have a file converter to reduce the size of the files. Also, we do have a Facebook page, Caleones. It's called @Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, and Dantes says finally, go to chiguerosnews.com and give some clicks and love to my boy Caleones. With all that said, Caleones, are you ready? I said, are you ready? For no one who's watching, and for the no one who's here in my room, because there's no one today. Let's get ready to Reggie's Hot Topics of the Week.
My body is ready.
My body's ready, and Caleones, my body's asking for news. But of course, there was just one big ass news this week. Let's get started. What was that big ass news?
Well, it wasn't just one big news. It was actually the Pokemon Company coming out and announcing not one, not two, but 3 new games for the Nintendo Switch. So of course now we had the Pokemon Quest was the first one that was announced, and that was available right away for the Switch. It is a free to start game. So anybody that has a Switch, you can go ahead and download it and start playing it for free. Then the next big announcement, which is for the it's one game. It's the Pokemon Let's Go. And they have the Pikachu and the Eevee editions. Those two are going to be coming out this November. And last but not least, they announced that there will be an all-new core series Pokemon game coming out in 2019. So, I mean, normally whenever Pokemon Company announces something, it is maybe one game, maybe a couple of accessories, which they also announce a new accessory that you can use with Pokemon Let's Go. But 3 games, Dantes, 3 games, and all of them for the Nintendo Switch. So what do you say to that? How big is that?
So we got more news to go through though, but I think let's start with the impressions, and then we can go to a Q&A. To more details about Pokemon Let's Go. So we're jam-packed. Today is a Pokemon Day. If you're a Pokemon fan, if you live and breathe Pokemon, or if you just play Pokemon for that month where you were hooked on Pokemon Go, welcome, and we're going to discuss it. Okay, impressions, Caleones. Let me ask you, where do you think I stand with all this news? You think I'm positive or I'm negative?
Okay, but it depends on how you count it, because I mean the type of person that you are, I know that you've suffered a lot being a Sony fan and having to wait years for a game to come out, so you're not too fond of games that are out for next year. So I know they did announce a new core Pokemon for 2019, but that's 2019, so it's not coming out this year. It's not coming out in a couple of months. So from the announcement, what really matters right now is Pokemon Quest and the Pokemon Let's Go games, which come out in November. So it has to be about those games and how you feel about those. I know that you're probably not going to be interested in Pokemon Quest per se, but you did say that you did play Pokemon Go religiously on your smartphone when it first came out for 1 month. But I mean, you did capture quite a few of them. I think the other day you said like something 120 something, like
yeah, 123.
Yeah, so out of 150. So that's dedication right there. To get those. So you're not a hardcore Pokemon player. You don't really play the Pokemon games. But the big question would be, would Pokemon Let's Go be enticing enough to get a Pokemon Go player and convert them over to a Nintendo Switch owner?
Okay. I'm going to start with the first piece that you said, that as a Sony fan, I'm used to waiting. Wait, when you make games with graphically powerful games like God of War, you have to wait a little bit instead of kiddie cartoony games. But anyway, aside from that, let's take it down a notch on the fanboyism tonight. No, I'm joking aside. Look, I was excited when I saw this. I thought this is so freaking smart. Hello, Default Boy and Dick. Welcome to the chat. I thought this was freaking smart. I think Nintendo killed it. I think Nintendo, that's why they made the prediction for 20 million consoles sold by next year, because they knew that they had 2 core Pokemon games coming up between basically 1 year, right? This one comes in November, and I'll bet you November of next year you'll get the mainline Pokemon game at the same time. So it's interesting how they lay it out in a way that Pokemon, which a lot of Pokemon players have not bought the Switch. I saw a lot of comments saying, no, I'm waiting until Pokemon. There's the group. It's like the group who like Smash is not buying a Nintendo console until they get Smash. And then there's the Pokemon players who are not buying a Switch until they get the Pokemon game, right? So it sounds like this is really smart to pull some players ahead of their schedule, even though some people still said, no, I'm going to wait for the core Pokemon. But doesn't mean that this game is going to bring more casual crowd. So your favorite boy, Colin Moriarty, used to say on the PlayStation podcast that Pokemon was always baby's first RPG because it introduced you to RPG elements, right? This is kind of like baby's first Pokemon game RPG that takes you to the baby's first RPG. So I do not like that. If you see the trailer, you can see that they took away wild Pokemon battles. You only cash them like you do normal Pokemon Go. I am concerned that you're going to break the game first day if a person like me who has 123 Pokemon and I have some strong Pokemon just send my Pokemon to the game. I'm basically breaking the game out of the bat because I go to gym battles and I'll be destroying everybody. Those are my 2 major concerns. But as a non-Pokemon player, and as a player whose last Pokemon game he played was Pokemon Yellow, which was a long-ass time ago, I am interested about this game. It may help me finish my collection in Pokemon Go, because then I could catch maybe Mewtwo in the game and then just send them to Pokemon Go. So that means that you can get an easier time to get all Pokemons in your collection in Pokemon Go. That's interesting. I wouldn't mind finishing. That was my goal originally. I just got tired of walking around trying to find Pokemon. But now I'm a lazy ass. I'm gonna be sitting on my house and just collecting Pokemon. What's not to like? And the nice about this is you're bringing the casual crowd to become Pokemon fans. You can bring new crowds from the Pokemon Go games. Now the question is, do they still remember? That's gonna be the question. I think that's the big question. But first impression, and I'm gonna go with my gut feeling, is that this thing is gonna sell like hotcakes. This is gonna sell upwards the 10 million typically Pokemon game sells. It's gonna bring new people, and then you have the core Pokemon game next year to calm the hardcore Pokemon fans. You got a 1-2 punch there. The Nintendo is killing it. I will buy the game, Caleones. Yes, I will buy the game. Like I said, I think it's interested. When I saw the trailer at first, a lot of people were like, oh my god, this crap, until they found out that they were getting a mainline Pokemon game. They were all quiet. Oh, then I accept Pokemon, let's go. I did not have this impression. I was like, damn smart, because Pokemon Go is how many downloads, how much money this thing is made? it's smart for Pokemon to be creating now 2 core. Now you can split your teams, and basically you have one team working on the Pokemon Let's Go franchise, and then you have the other team working on the main core Pokemon game. Which is a concern too, Caleones, you could have a Pokemon game every year. Then that also, I'm going to also give the bad news or the possibility, is that Pokemon will never evolve, which was my concern. I was asking for the next Pokemon game to be a Breath of the Wild type of refresh or a God of War type of refresh. This is not it. This is not it at all. It's new mechanics, yes, but it's not that yet. So that's the concern, that you're going to have less innovation in a Pokemon game. But if they keep selling, it's like Call of Duty. If they keep selling, who cares, right? So we shall see. But I was positive, Caleones. I think this is great news. Your thoughts now and your impressions of the Pokemon announcement.
Okay, so I mean, I really think about it the same way as you, which is it's basically a way, like you said, to convert the people that love playing Pokemon Go on the smartphones, and to at the same time to appease people that want a Pokemon game on the system. So for people that like Pokemons, then you get that Pokemon game, Pokemon Quest on the same day. So there's some people are happy that you're getting a game that's free to start. You can download it right away. You can start playing it and have fun with it. So that's good. Then the Pokemon Let's Go, I'm glad that they mentioned, and it was important that they mentioned that there's a new core Pokemon title next year, because like you said, some Pokemon fans would have felt shortchanged, because they say, oh, they're changing the way that we like look for wild Pokemons, the way that we do battles, move throughout the world, so yes, they changed a couple of things. So it's kind of like a mixture of Pokemon Go and the normal Pokemon games. So it was very important that they mentioned there's a new core title. But for Pokemon Go players, Let's Go, it's a natural transition for them to go from the smartphone over to that game. That they have pretty much the same capture mechanics. They're still going to have battles. They're still going to have trading and those things. But the core Pokemon Go elements are there. You can do the transfer from Pokemon that you have already captured. There's going to be a brand new exclusive Pokemon that you can get that way. So that's going to be something else. But I'm glad that they're doing it like this, and I'm also glad that even though we're not getting a core Pokemon this year and it's going to be next year, that means that they're putting in the time for the core Pokemon game, and they're not just trying to rush one out and having it ready. So that tells me that the core Pokemon game coming out next year is better for it. And hopefully, like you said, I would love for them to have 2 separate dedicated teams, so that they have the core development team working on that one. They have the Let's Go team as well, and they hopefully keep those separate, so they can dedicate the time that those games deserve, so they come out with the highest quality. So I'm ecstatic that the Pokemon Company announced it that way. They had to announce the core title as well, so you understood what Let's Go really is. And I already downloaded Pokemon Quest. I will be getting Pokemon Let's Go, and of course, next year when the core title comes out, I will be getting that one as well.
The only bad news, Caleones, about this announcement is that you lost a prediction. So, sorry, it's not E3, dude.
I lost it by a technicality.
No, it's not E3, dude. It's not E3. So, anyway, my chances are just feeling really good with all the leaks right now of me winning the prediction show. But anyway,
and well, I want to say hi to Super Spice. Yeah, welcome to the chat. Yeah, thanks for the comments on there. Default Boy, thank you as well. PSW Xbox C, welcome as well. So yeah, we really do appreciate you guys. And if you have any comments or want to make any points, let us know, so we can also discuss it over here as well.
So with that said, Caleones, let's move with more details about Pokemon, because there was a lot of news that came out of this. This was almost feels like a Nintendo Direct, but it was only basically a Pokemon company doing it. But Caleones, hit us with the other pieces of news, and we can go one-on-one and discuss it.
Okay, so with the Pokemon Let's Go, they're going to be introducing the Pokemon Ball Plus, which is going to be a device that you can have separate. You can carry your Pokemon with you and interact with it. And you saw it on the trailer where they take it over. They're kind of like either caressing it or playing with it, and you hear the Pokemon talking to you and making sounds. So the device itself is going to be $50 compared to the $60 price tag of the game. I mean that'll be fun for kids. I have a 6-year-old, and of course my 6-year-old and even my 12-year-old want the device. So I'm gonna have to find a way to justify that, like buying that, to the wife. But yeah, it's that was something else that they introduced, and we did talk about the connectivity between Go and Let's Go, and I think that's really important. And my question to you would be, do you see Niantic and the Pokemon Company continuing to update Pokemon Go, or do you see Pokemon Go 2 or another one being introduced? And about Pokemon Quest, they did say that one is eventually going to come out on smartphones as well, but it's going to be sometime during the summer.
Hey, what up, Nerd Midnight? Welcome to the chat too. So, okay, go open the news and explain the extra details that they said about Pokemon Let's Go, and then I can answer your question, because they talk about there's going to be online connectivity, there's going to be, so go over through that, and then we can go over the impressions.
Okay, so yeah, for Pokemon Let's Go, the combat system is going to be pretty much the same one from Pokemon Go, which is going to be used in battles. Battles and trading will be available online, but competitive ranked battles are not included. This is something that they hadn't said yet, but they actually did confirm through the Famitsu magazine in an interview that Switch Online will be required for you to play Pokemon Let's Go online.
Yep.
Yes. This release, the official release screens were at 1080p, which they haven't officially announced, but people are thinking that the game will be running at 1080p. Not sure. I mean, I don't think it's going to be 60 frames per second. I believe it's going to be 30 frames per second, because I mean it is an RPG game, so it may not really require the 60 frames per second.
I don't care when it's RPG. Yep.
Yeah, it's fine. The Pokemon Ball Plus was codenamed Project Palma. Project Beluga was the original name for the Let's Go games. And it seems like for now, players won't be able to evolve the starter Pokemons. But I do understand this aspect, because you have the original 150, and they're going to keep you there until they either release the next game or they do an update to it.
Welcome, Collie. Yeah, better graphics. The graphics look, I mean, it's not going to blow the world over. That's why they can make this game so fast, because the graphics are not like, oh my God. It's not God of War, Caleones. So, anyway, but with that said, joking aside.
But I mean, it is going from 240p on the 3DS.
Oh, no, I know. I'm messing around.
I mean, 720 or 1080. So that's a pretty big jump.
It's going to be I think it's going to look well. I like the new graphic style. I know it's on the vein of Pokemon Go. I'll answer your questions first. The Pokeball, I think it's interesting. It's going to be great for kids. You buy it for your kids. That's awesome if you can take your Pikachu around. And there was a thing in Pokemon Go that you had steps, and taking more steps build your Pikachu levels and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, that could be something that people would do. I'm not interested in the Pokeball, but it's interesting, I guess. Now, Niantic is going to continue doing what they're doing. They're going to keep making it. And what's going to happen is that Niantic is going to be like 4 or 5 generations ahead of Pokemon Let's Go. And then when Pokemon Let's Go comes with the next generation, which is going to be the next 150 Pokemon or whatever, 100 Pokemons, that's where you add them to your Pokemon Let's Go. It's kind of like Pokemon Let's Go represents the start of the generation, basically, for this franchise. So you're going to continue seeing it go through all the Pokemons like they've done with the main line Pokemon. So Niantic is not going away. You're going to be getting Pokemon up the ass. Just to clarify, up the ass. But it makes sense. If you make money, you make money. Like, I don't like Call of Duty being yearly. I don't like Assassin's Creed being yearly. But at the same time, I don't play those games. There's a reason for that. And I'm only interested in the first generation Pokemon. So after this, I'm probably done. But it's good to start from the scratch, because the original 150 is what everybody likes. And it makes sense that you bring this and be the original 150 to bring people back, because I think people are going to be excited. Yes, there was a lot of comments of hardcore fans that were like, oh my God, this sucks. But this game is not for the hardcore fan. This game is to bring everybody together. you get your hardcore Pokemon game next year. Take advantage of this, play with everybody, and I think you will play with everybody. And the online is interesting because then you can play. Me and Caleones could go online in an online battle. We can challenge our Pokemon.
We'll go for the chat.
Yeah, we can do that on a Wednesday or on a Friday, whatever, in one of the streamings, right? So we can.
Yeah, but also it's because it's really, I mean, it will be extremely hard for Nintendo and the Pokemon Company to ask people to go out there and catch all 800 and plus Pokemons that are currently out. That's overwhelming. So it is good that they're starting with the original 150 with Let's Go. It is like a spiritual remake of the original Yellow, Pokemon Yellow.
What up, cool drummer? Okay, go on. Sorry.
And I'm glad they're doing it this way because they can introduce people and slowly like introduce them to the game, allow them to catch you 150 and then open it up so they can go over to the next ones instead of saying, hey, there's 800 and plus Pokemon, go out there and get them all. So that would feel extremely overwhelming. Same thing that they're doing with the smartphone and Pokemon Go app. They first had the 150 and then open it up little by little, so that they can catch the other ones. So it is really smart from the Pokemon Company. I'm glad they're doing it this way. And hopefully that means that instead of having the normal 14, 15 million copies sold, by having those Pokemon Go players come in, it can climb to 20 million or more for the core title. So that's the end game. And of course, that Nintendo, they said that they wanted to sell 20 million Nintendo Switch units in fiscal year 2018. And this is a great way to get to those numbers.
I'm with Cool Drummer. That's the same with me. The original 150 is what I know. After that, I'm like, woof, whatever. Anyway, with that, Caleones, I think let's move on to with the Q&A section. If you can go through that, maybe you can pick some of the big questions. I think it was an interesting article in My Nintendo News. We have to give them prop. They're the ones who published this. So, go ahead, Caleones, go ahead and some of the Q&A.
Okay, so they were asking them saying that, and this is a translation, so it's not. It's, as far as we understand, this is exactly what was said, but they were talking about if Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu, Eevee are based on Pokemon Yellow Special Pikachu Edition, will they only have the original 151 Pokemon? And they said, they did confirm that yes, it's the original 151. And like we said, there's there rumors that you won't be able to evolve the Pokemon, so you're gonna be able to, you will have to stay at 151 until they go ahead and open it up. With Pokemon appearing on the field and catching gameplay being similar to Pokemon Go, does that mean there are not any wild Pokemon battles? Mm-hmm. With these games, we're only focused on clicking the Joy-Con to throw the Pokeballs to catch Pokemon. We decided to get rid of the wild Pokemon battles to catch them, but we are still trainers, battles with a variety of difficulty where you use your Pokemons in battle. Okay, so with this one, I'll make a quick comment. I'm actually, in a way, glad that you don't really have to go into the wild, you go into the grass and just go back and forth walking until you finally go into one of those battles. You're actually seeing the Pokemons on the field, so you can go straight to them and capture them. So if you're living in the it's not a real world, it's a game world, but still making it a little more realistic where you would see the Pokemons in their right environment. And this is a way to do it, because you get to see not only the Pokemon, but hopefully see the Pokemons and their size based on the correct proportions of your character. So, if you're catching, Charizard, for example, he's not just going to be appearing out of nowhere in a place where the grass is only like a feet tall and you can't really see him. No, he's going to be big and you're going to be able to see him on the screen, because the size is proportionate to your character. So I'm glad that they're doing it this way. It's a little more realistic, or at least it helps you get more into the Pokemon.
I think they should have done something. Maybe have two modes in the same game where you could play casual mode and just capture them. But then if you wanted hardcore mode, you could fight wild Pokemon. That would be my opinion, honestly.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's I think it's the right evolution of the games. If you go to like catching wild Pokemons, I think it's kind of like going from Chrono Trigger over to Chrono Cross, where
Chrono Cross sucked though.
It was still a good game.
No, it was not.
Not because you're comparing it to Chrono Trigger. That's why. But in
No, it
Chrono
was a bad
Cross,
game.
you could see the enemies. You could go around them, or you could go face them, and it's the same thing over here. Uh, but moving along, how does the connection between Pokemon Go and the two Switch games work? The games use Bluetooth LE to connect directly to each other. And will you be able to trade and battle with other players in Pokemon Let's Go via wireless or local connection? These games will definitely have the wireless trading and battle features that have existed in Pokemon games up to now. You will, of course, need two Nintendo Switch consoles to do that kind of gameplay. So, yes, trading is going to be there, online battles is going to be there. Pretty much everything you have come to expect from the Pokemon games will be there, except for, like you said, catching Pokemons in the wild. The mechanics is going to change, and you're not really going to battle the Pokemon and weaken them before you can capture them. You can go straight to the Pokemon Go capturing of them. So that's those are pretty much most of the changes and what stays the same. Anything you want to add, Dantes?
Now, before we go to the next news, which I know the last news for Pokemon is the how many downloads Quest has had, but the only thing I was going to add was that I nailed it when the title came and said, let's go. I told here in this podcast, you can go back and look at it. I said, it sounds like they're going to merge the Pokemon Go system with the core Pokemon. Just saying, I was right. But anyway, Caleones, you can go on to the next news.
Well, and continuing with Pokemon and the last piece of news based on Pokemon, it is that Pokemon Quest has surpassed 1 million downloads on the Nintendo Switch
That was
system.
quick. That was quick.
Yeah, it was quick, but also not surprising. Like we said, it is a free to start game, but I mean, it is Pokemon as well. So of course, the Pokemon brand is one of the biggest brands
Caleones, you're
on
going to
any
have to
gaming
take
system.
over. I'm getting called by work. 1 second.
What is Okay, so yeah, going over to the chat. Can you play instead of talk, please? I love Pikachu. And after the stream, you can watch someone who plays. I'm Super Circle. Okay, so guys, I'm Super Spice and Nerd Midnight. You guys were talking about different channels and different people, to feature. So go ahead and put it on there. Put it on the chat. Talk to us about your channel and about the people that you have on there. That way we can, we can promote it. You can use this space to promote yourselves, to promote other people. We are very happy that you can use this medium, so you can let us know and let other YouTubers and people that join the chat about, those other people that we should be listening to. The next piece of news on this is that there has been a new GameStop system update. They were talking about how some screenshots surfaced from GameStop, and there's 10 new SKUs, or at the very least 10 new SKUs for the Nintendo Switch on there. I believe it was a month and a half ago. The Nintendo There was a leak from GameStop as well. It was around like 16 SKUs or so, and those haven't really been. They haven't really said which ones they were. We already looked at the SKUs. We try to put those on the website. The SKUs don't really take you anything, but you can expect at the very least 10 games that haven't been announced yet for the Nintendo Switch. And this is via GameStop. So, guys, if you can tell us, like what games that you've heard that has been rumored or that has leaked or that you believe is going to be announced, which ones of those are you really looking forward to? Go ahead and tell us on the chat about those. And we can at least confirm that at least one of the games that will be announced for the system, and this is Fortnite for the Nintendo Switch. So Fortnite was one of those games that was leaked. It was shown on the it was a document about games that were going to be shown for E3. Fortnite for Nintendo Switch was one of those, but this is coming via the Korean Gaming Rating Board. They actually put the game, rated it for the Nintendo Switch unit. It doesn't have a release date yet, but it has been confirmed to be coming over at least by the rating board, and that's very exciting. Just so you know, Fortnite is one of those games that we've played in this channel. Sometimes whenever we have a chance on Fridays, we do Fortnite Fridays. We have a pretty good amount of people getting connected, playing together. We do it on the Xbox One, but we cannot wait until the game comes out on the Nintendo Switch. We're gonna get it. Hopefully, it's gonna be the Battle Royale mode and the Save the World portion as well. And yeah, like Nerd Midnight is saying, yes. Well, not only that there's a chance, but this is that the Korean Game Ratings Board confirmed that the game has been rated for the Nintendo Switch. So this pretty much guarantees, yes, the game is coming, and more than likely where we're gonna see it is gonna be at E3. So I guess my biggest question for this is going to be Fortnite. It's already available on the PS4, Xbox One, PC, smartphones, pretty much everywhere, or iOS. And I believe it's going to be available on, on the Galaxy phones or Samsung and those on this summer. Is Epic going to wait until I guess the new update finishes? I mean, the update 4, that's the one where they um, are they going to wait until that finishes and to release it on the Switch? Are they going to release it right away after E3? When is it that they're going to be releasing it? As far as from what I believe, I don't think they're going to wait too long after E3. I wouldn't really be surprised if they say something like, Fortnite is going to come to the Nintendo Switch, and you can download it now, or you can download it later today. So yes, it's one of those where the game is doing amazing. It's actually helping sell PlayStation and Xbox consoles, and I believe it's going to be it's going to do the same for the Switch, because basically, where can you play the Fortnite game on the go with proper controls? Yes, you can play on smartphones, but you don't have the proper controls. Yes, you have the proper controls on the Xbox and the PS4, but you cannot take those systems on the go. The Nintendo Switch, as long as you have either a Wi-Fi connection or if you have a mobile hotspot with your phone or something else, you're going to be able to play the game anywhere. And that's going to be one of the best compromises that you can use for a game, and one of the best reasons that this Switch version is going to be a big seller. Like I said, we already have it for the Xbox, but as long as there's cross-platform play and we can connect the character with the Nintendo Switch unit and hopefully play with Xbox, PC, and smartphone owners at the very least, is going to be a great way and a great bargain to have that game. Then going over to the next piece of news, and this is from an E3 document that leaked and contained different games for the Switch. Among them, of course, Fortnite. Until it was afterwards, confirmed by the rating board. They were talking about games like we already know. Mario Tennis Aces was one of those. Starlink Battle for Atlas, which is Ubisoft's Toys to Life game using spaceships, and that one was announced last year to be released in 2018, but they don't have a release date, so we should be getting a release date there. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, that's going to be another one that has already announced, but will be shown, of course. And for FIFA 19, pretty much FIFA 18, EA said that if it was successful on the Switch, they will go ahead and release the next one. And it seems like they will be announcing it because they did confirm the game sold pretty well. As far as the engine, it seems like it's going to use the same engine as FIFA 18, but it's going to be an upgraded engine, so it's going to play and look even better. Fortnite, of course, was another one that was shown there and later confirmed, but a few of the surprises on here are Overcooked 2. So Overcooked 2 was one of those that it seems like will be coming over to the system. Dragon Ball Fighters is another one that seems like it will be announced for the Nintendo Switch at E3. Then we have Paladins. which is kind of like an Overwatch type game. That one has, it seems like it will be announced for the Nintendo Switch. And then we have a game that so far has only been available on arcade cabinets, and it is a multiplayer fighting type game, is Killer Queen Black, which it seems like it will be announced for the Nintendo Switch at E3. So it's this is not the Nintendo first party games. I know that some people really want to know what's going to be Nintendo's offering. If we're going to see Luigi's Mansion 3, Pikmin 4, Animal Crossing, the rumored Star Fox Grand Prix game, and those. But at the very least, this is a very good start for Nintendo, and it is a good way to to support those their lineup of first party games. So this is a very good start for them. Then we have on the next piece of news is that Team Sonic Racing. It's it's a game that it seems like was going to be shown at E3. Sega had already teased it before. They had like a 20-second teaser, but nobody really knew what type of game it was until it was accidentally leaked. And of course, Sega had to acknowledge. So basically, talking about the game, they're saying that combining the best elements of arcade and fast-paced competitive style racing with unique vehicles, customization options, Sonic fans can play solo, team up with friends, or face off against each other in high-stakes races between rival teams across the Sonic universe. So they did a detailed list of the key features of the game, and they're talking about that it will support online multiplayer and local co-op modes. 12 players per race, 4 player split screen, and various offline online race modes, including Grand Prix mode, exhibition mode, time trials, and team adventure mode. Team racing, race as a team, win as a team. Use various team moves to assist your teammates, knock out opponents, and unleash your team ultimate. Performance and skin customization. Alter the appearance and handling of your vehicles. Wisps, 14 spectacular offensive and defensive items to help overcome rival teams and get ahead. Adventure mode, a unique story experience where players are introduced to basic game features and characters and various characters and types. There will be 15 playable characters from across the universe or the Sonic universe and 3 distinct character types, including speed, technique, and power. So, yeah, so far, those are going to be some of the details from that. We're probably not going to see it on or see gameplay for the game until E3 itself, but it would have been a great surprise for E3. Sadly, it leaked beforehand, but either way, I'm glad that Sega is doing this, and that it's going to be a pretty good game, racing games to look forward to, especially on the Nintendo Switch, since so far we do have RMX, we have it on there. We do have other racing games, but for the most part, Mario Kart Deluxe or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is by far the most played and sold racing game on the Nintendo Switch. Moving on to the next piece of news, and this is coming from Capcom, and the game is Mega Man 11, and it will be coming over to the Nintendo Switch on October 2nd. So the game is listed for $30 on Amazon, and it's this is coming from the Mega Man official Twitter account. It says that gear up for Mega Man 11 sliding onto the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC on October 2nd. Get the latest details on the new Double Gear system, Robot Masters, and more. If you guys want to see Mega Man 11 on the gameplay and how the game looks, plays, you can see go over to Game Explains account. They did release a video of gameplay, and the game looks amazing. Even though it does use a different art style or an updated art style from before, but the animation, the look, and everything, it looks great. The action is on point, and it seems like the controls themselves really responsive. So it is. Everybody that has played it, they've said that They have nothing but great things to say about Mega Man 11, and that it captures the Mega Man feel. So I'm glad that we're getting those type of news for the game. And going over with the next piece of news, and this is about Nintendo Switch selling the dock or the Nintendo Switch system without a dock. This is something that was actually announced for Japan through the Nintendo of Japan website, and it's that Nintendo will be selling the Nintendo Switch. So you have the unit, you have the two Joy-Cons, and you can decide on the two different Joy-Cons if you want the different colors, different or do separate, different combinations with the Joy-Cons or the straps. So you can go ahead and do that. But the system is not going to have the dock, it's not going to have the HDMI cable or the AC adapter, or the Joy-Con grip, so you can connect the Joy-Cons as a controller. It's not going to feature those, but the good thing about it is that it will it will be $50 less than the system itself. Like I said, that's going to be for Japan. They haven't announced it's going to be if it's going to be available in the U.S. So far, they said that they have no plans to releasing this configuration in the Americas. But what this configuration does is for people that already own a Nintendo Switch, that already have the dock and already have everything, and you just want to get another system, you can go ahead and buy this and do the color configuration and all of those and get it cheaper than you would by buying a new system. So in Japan, I see this as something that's going to sell really well. And of course, because they do embrace the handheld more than in the US, even though, I mean, the Nintendo Switch is selling everywhere. It doesn't matter if it's, Japan, US, Europe, or, any and every country in between. It's been selling great. But hopefully, I mean, I don't mind options. This is something that, I mean, hopefully it'll be available sometime in the future, and or at least before the holiday season. So I do not mind at all, and hope that this is something that they can offer over here. Basically, going over with the, I guess I like a small recap. We did talk about the Pokemon Go or the Pokemon games that were announced. There were three games. It was the Pokemon Quest, it was the Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee editions, and it was a new core Pokemon game from 2019. Even though that was all they gave for details. I did, talk to Dantes about this, and it is something that I believe, Pokemon Company made a great decision to do it this way. Not only are they able to dedicate more time to the core Pokemon game by not releasing it and rushing it this year and leaving it over for next year, but because you allow the Pokemon Go crowd to hopefully use Let's Go as a stepping stone to move over from the smartphones and into the Nintendo Switch. Because if you want to sell those 20 million units in fiscal year 2018, that's how you do it. You get those people that still haven't bought a Nintendo Switch system or that may never buy any console or any system at all and have them embrace it, or you get the Pokemon fans, which is one of the biggest crowds in all of Nintendo. You have Nintendo, you have Zelda, you have the Smash, but Pokemon crowd is extremely big, and with these games, you get them to jump in quicker, and not only get Pokemon games, but hopefully get other games as well. After this, we had the details on the core Pokemon titles. I did want to say that on this one, Eurogamer was chiming in on the game, and they said that the 2019 core RPG is going to be set in the style of X and Y and Sun and Moon. So how the game plays is going to be somewhat different than the Pokemon Let's Go. It's not going to be I guess a more linear where you see the character either moving side by side or up and down. So it's going to open it up more. To be, I guess, have a more 3D feel to it. even though the games are 3D, but the camera is set on those. The camera on XY and Sun and Moon is more dynamic. It does, you can see it from different angles, and hopefully you can even move the camera so you can appreciate more, not only from your character and from your Pokemon, but also from the game world itself. Um, then we had the different details from the Let's Go Pokemon, and those were about how the screen resolutions, details, and all of those. And welcome back, Dantes. So hopefully you're being able to take care of everything. And
Yeah, it looks like I left you alone too much. We lost viewers. So anyway, where was I? Where were we? Where are we? I don't even know.
actually, I had already run through all the news and had to go back and do a recap on the first ones because it was one-sided on this. But yeah.
So
Okay, so
I apologize, guys. Like, so I don't know, if people don't know. I guess you could say I'm a manufacturing engineer. So if there's issue on the lines, they call you and you have to fix it or figure it out. So that's what I was getting called for. But I guess with that, Caleones, if you went through the news burst, you went through news burst quickly.
well, I did, but I still want to get I guess your opinion on a couple of them. So, for example, we're talking about the GameStop one. They did announce they showed a screenshot of like 10 plus SKUs, and I mean they haven't said exactly how many of them. It seems like it's going to be more than 10. But of course, those games are expected to be E3 announcements. The one that we had a month and a half before, it was like probably like 16 or so that had been shown, and it seems like a couple of those games, like the Mega Man 11, have been announced. Like the Pokemon Let's Go, that's another one that probably was covered by those queues, and now it has its proper page. So,
So you're saying it's down from 15 to 10 now?
well, it's for now, but I mean, of course, we don't have an insider on GameStop that can go into the system and find out, go SKU by SKU and see how many of them are available. But I guess it's to be expected. Of course, this is not going to be set in stone because I believe the same person that released these screenshots, they had the Xbox and PS4, and those had probably like 4 or 5 SKUs each. And we know it's not just going to be 4 or 5 games announced, for each one. So it's going to be more than that. So this is something that's going to change. So yeah, don't for the people that are looking at this, don't think that it's just going to be 10 game. It can be more, or it can be just that. But this is not set in stone.
Okay, so let's play a little bit of game. We had this plan, and then that way after this little game, we can go back, just finish since you did news burst. We go to games that came out in the supermarket, and then we'll end the show. And I really apologize we lost track. The show was going good. It is what it is. I guess I have another job that pays the bills. Maybe someday this one can pay my bill.
Yeah,
and
I just want to say for the record, I'm Super Spice. I'm not your dad. Yeah, I'm not. I'm sorry.
Yep. So anyway, game is 10 games. Me and Carlos gonna say 10 games. We can repeat. And then we can go and say, here's the 10 games that are possible there in those SKUs. And then we'll come back and just have fun and see if we nail it or fail or we, got 3 right or whatever. So anyway, with that said, Caleones, you can start. What are the 10 games that you think are on those SKUs?
Okay, so I can cheat, right? I can just say, the Fortnite first one.
Yeah, no, okay. Like I said, no, we can repeat. We can repeat. You're fine. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Fortnite.
Okay, Fortnite, keep going. 10 games.
Okay, so I mean, we can go conservative and go with the list, but I guess I'm gonna say a couple others as well. So we're gonna have the Fortnite, but I still believe that we're gonna get the. I don't know. I'm hope. This is more hoping than anything. I really would like for Nintendo to show Pikmin 4 and Luigi's Mansion 3 and those types. An F-Zero game, sometime. But as far as these, I'm just gonna say Fortnite is gonna be one. And I don't know, like as Dragon Fighters is going to be Dragon Ball Fighters is another one because yes, it's been shown here, but Bandai Namco had said that if the Dragon Balls Xenoverse 2 sold well on the Switch, that they would release fighters on the Switch, and the game sold great. So that's another one that you can pretty much count on there. It does have FIFA 19, and FIFA 19 it's a yearly title. EA said the same thing about FIFA 18 and about its sales on Switch, and the game sold well on the Switch. So of course it's to be expected to be on there. So that's going to be those are three games that I expect on there. But to talk about games that are not here,
That's fine. Just say 5. We'll do 5, so we don't rack your brains.
yeah. Okay, so thank you. That'll be easier. Put me for Animal Crossing on there.
Okay. So I'll say my 5 then. Fortnite. Of course, we're gonna see a lot of the games that was shown. Dragon Ball Fighter C, yes, that's 2. Overcooked 2, that's 3. You're probably gonna get the SKU for the Star Fox game that Retro is saying, that's 4. And then number 5, you could probably you could say that maybe it's a Metroid Prime officially now that it's come out. I don't know if they officially put the SKU, probably not because it hasn't had a release date. So Metroid Prime 4 could be number 5. They put a couple of games, I don't know the names on that list that they show that it's coming out quick, so it's probably gonna be there. Fallout 3. I think again the Bethesda and Nintendo relationship is gonna continue. So Fallout 3 is probably coming to the Switch. So that's 6 right there. And of course, then you can go into the hopefuls, which would be like your Pikmin, that would be 7. Luigi's Mansion, that would be 8. Your Animal Crossing, that would be 9. And then some other third-party game that we don't know is come out. We don't know.
Yeah, and you can also throw in games like Bayonetta 3, Shin Megami Tensei 5,
Wonderful 101. Maybe they're finally getting the port, right? Or that Monolith Soft game. I'm hoping. I don't know. We shall see. We got it there. I think we got it close enough. But Caleones, with that said, thank you for taking over the podcast while I was out. With that, let's go to our favorite supermarket, which is Chiguro Supermarket. So what is in today's market, Caleones?
Well, actually, today's market is a pretty big one. We have the release of 25 different games on the Switch, and this is covering the dates of May 29th until May 31st. So I'll start with the first one, and that's Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. It's one, Shift Quantum, Pokemon Quest, Legend of K Anniversary, Knights of Pen and Paper +1, Deluxe Year Edition, Ikaruga, Harvest Moon, Light of Hope Special Edition, Fallen Legion, Rise to Glory, Die for Valhalla, Dem Bombs, Yesterday Origins, World Soccer Pinball, West of Loading, Sunbringer, Smoke and Sacrifice, Quad Fighter K, Pure Electric Love, What Do You Want, Pirate Pop Plus, Millenor, Lost Sea, Just Shapes and Beats, Johnny Turbo's Arcade, Yo and Mac Caveman, Icy, Defoliation, Ninja Combat, and I believe my game of the week is probably going to be Ikaruga. It's a pretty hardcore game, and I like those type of games. Yes, we had the Pokemon Quest. That's a really big one that released out of nowhere. And we have the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. Even though I have to double check that one, I still haven't played it. And it seems like it has mixed reviews based on how people feel like when it comes to the graphics and things like that, and who handled the not the port, but the creation of that game. So any of those games that you're interested in?
No. You said Mega Man Collection? Did it came out this week or was last week?
It was last week.
Okay. So Mega Man collection again this week for me. So anyway,
Okay.
with that said, Caleones, I'm sorry. I'm not. It's rough to get back on track after have to deal with work. So, but anyway, with that said, Caleones, I think it's time to end the show. Again, I apologize for that. We'll do better. Maybe next time I ignore the call. Maybe someone from work's not watching this. But anyway, with that said, Caleones, let's put that Xenoblade music to lift our spirits again. There you go. That's better. Feel this. Can you feel it? Because I'm really feeling it. I want to thank everybody who stopped by and watched the Get In and Get Out Nintendo Podcast episode 48 right here at the Force In Unison Gaming channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, and comment so you can make this too crazy MFs happy. Also remember, hit that bell. Yeah. That way you can get notifications of our videos and you don't miss anything on the madness. So next time you can see me pick up a call from work. Also, remember that this Nintendo podcast is also on SoundCloud and iTunes for free. So go ahead, download it over there and rate us so you can show up some love. Also, go to the description box below so you can see the full channel schedule. Remember, Monday, PlayStation Mondays. With this Monday, I plan to continue Detroit Become Human. At least, are my second stream with it. Also, Wednesday, Caleones. He killed it. Last Wednesday, we're streaming Wednesdays, playing a little bit of Splatoon for your entertainment. Of course, this show on Saturday. And of course, Sundays, we have Force In Unison Live, which is a video game podcast. So tomorrow, be there, because tomorrow we're going to talk about Crackdown and its delay. Also, we do have a Facebook page called @Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, and Dantes says finally, go to chiguerosnews.com and give some clicks and love to my boy Caleones. With all that said, thank you again for joining us. Good night, everybody.